Welcome everybody to Eye of the Serpent Tarot for another pick a card. So today's pick a card, it's almost a version or a different take on, I often do a visit to a fortune teller and that kind of thing. So it is a very fortune, what's your fortune coming up, what sort of things are coming over the horizon type of reading. But as you will have seen from the thumbnail, what I'm really focusing on are things, unexpected messages, unexpected things that are coming. They're the last thing you would expect to happen. Even if you're eyeing something and thinking, could it be? And then you think it's too much. I couldn't possibly get that or have that or experience that. And yet something in you sort of niggling and making you think maybe it actually could happen. That's the sort of energy I'm trying to tap into. Things that are coming that you wouldn't expect and that they're almost on that mythical or fantastical level, because I think that in life sometimes things like that do happen. You know, we expect certain things in our lives and certain patterns in our lives, and then almost what gives it its light and colour is when something very unexpected happens. And I am going to be deliberately tilting towards the biggest mythic thing I could say coming out of it. And I am focusing primarily, even though it might have tendrils of the supernatural and the spiritual, and we will have a bit of a look at that kind of energy. I am actually tilting more towards things that could happen in the material world but might seem very unexpected or unlikely. So that's what we're looking at, that are coming into your frame, either literally or symbolically. So that's what we're exploring, and hopefully that'll be a bit of a fun and a bit different. So I'm almost asking you right from the outset with this to suspend disbelief. We may get some fairly practical things that come out. If Spirit says, no, I really want to talk about this, this person won't really expect this, but it's kind of logical and it's going to happen. But I really am asking Spirit here to look at what would be surprising and inspiring and hopefully positive as well. We're not really looking at things coming up that would be an issue, unless knowing about it ahead of time means that you can actually head it off at the pass and make it not happen. So the way we're going to look at it first is I'm using the cute and creepy oracle, because I see this as a bit of a wild card oracle, and the wild card energy is exactly what we're thinking about. So I actually asked Spirit for the first of a number of messages that will be coming. So that gives you a bit of a sense of something. So I would again be saying, if you look at it, it's sort of something that draws you but feels unlikely. That's the thing to go for. Otherwise, if you always go for pile two, go for pile two. Do whatever you like. Go to more than one pile if you feel drawn to more than one. So for pile number one, we have slow down. So it may be that if your life is so frantic, the last thing you ever get is a moment to yourself. You might be drawn to that. You don't have to be. It's just as an example. For pile number two, we have friendship. So if you think, I don't have many friends around me, or, I miss a friend or something like that, and you don't expect them back in your life, maybe that's what's going to draw you. We'll see what it is. I'm not saying these are the messages. I'm just saying the kind of way you might choose. And for pile number three, we've got key. So that's pretty broad. The key to something that opens a door for you, something that gives you an opportunity. So when you know what reading or readings you want to go to, I have the timestamps in the description box below, and I'll see you there. Welcome pile one to your reading. So right out of the gate, we've got something that most people would not think was going to come to them, but may very well, very literally come to you, or this may be symbolic of something. But let's have a look first at don't rush things, slow down. So as I said, this makes me feel that there is a message here that you'll get an opportunity to slow down, or that something that you are wondering about and you're not sure about, or you're assessing, will come into clearer focus if you slow down and look at it. It might be the last thing you think you could do as well. So for instance, an example of that might be if you've just been offered a job, you might think, well, I've got to really quickly decide. Or if someone's talking about an offer for you and there's a contract on the table, you're thinking, if I don't hurry and do this, then I'm going to lose the opportunity. This would be saying that there is something unexpectedly beneficial in slowing down and looking at something more carefully if that was the case. Now, as I say, we are going to use tarot. We'll use the cute and creepy tarot to get a bit more sense about what this particular message is and why it's unexpected. But I do think it is a sense of saying that when you least expect it around something, you're going to have an opportunity to take a proper look at it, to take your time and to get the best possible result. I almost feel like I want to go to that one next and then go to this, because the next one is weed out. It says get rid of things that are not wanted, make room for something new. So that is also a little bit of a process that slows down and brings in discrimination and choice. And I mean discrimination in the best possible terms, not in some sort of discrimination that is illegitimate or unfair. I mean in terms of having a discriminating mindset of knowing what is right for you and what isn't right for you. But it may be that this is about things that you have to remove from your life. You may in fact find in an unexpected way that there are certain blocks. It could be certain friendships, it could be certain other types of relationships, it could be the job that you're in or whatever, that are in fact the block to getting what you want and getting to what you would value. So there's a sort of unexpected, let's do a bit of a clean out and a clear out energy operating here. And then we have treasure. So someone or something greatly valued and wealth. So I believe this is definitely Spirit saying that for the people who come to this, there is something that you secretly probably want. It could be a competition that you enter. It could be a great love that you've met. You are meant to get it. It's the last thing really that you expect will happen. You think it happens to everyone else, but it's going to happen for you. And whether it's slow down, weed out things to allow that to happen and it's connected, or whether these are three different things, that's what we want to explore with the tarot. So we're going to use the cute and creepy tarot as well too, because it keeps this slightly fantastical energy. And in each case, I'm going to draw 3 cards, which are a little bit more about what is the unexpected message. And then the second 3 cards will be why is it unexpected? So we get a little bit more of an idea. So let's start with the slow down and the don't rush things. So what is the message really about here? High Priestess, 4 of Swords, 8 of Wands. And why is it unexpected? Why is this the last thing that you would expect to be hearing from Spirit at the moment? The 6 of Swords reversed, the Queen of Cups reversed, and the 6 of Wands reversed. Okay. So the message is telling me that this is a very literal spiritual message. It is saying that there is something that you will find by going within and into your spiritual knowing. So this will be, and we'll talk about why it's an unexpected message, but this will be calling you to do that when maybe it's not the way that you would apply your spirituality. So what interests me here is something like the treasure here. It could be that for some of you, you are aiming towards, winning something or making a profit with something or something very material, and you've actually separated out from the spiritual. And maybe the two things are seen as very different to you. But this is, and you wouldn't be alone if that was the case. A lot of people disconnect those. I think we're here in the material world for a reason, and it's perfectly valid to be looking at what I would call the second house matters, the life that you want, the lifestyle you want, as long as it's in accordance with your ethics. And going into your spirituality helps you get that. And the message is that the only way to speed up with the 8 of Wands and to get trajectory and get momentum is to slow down first and go within. So that's the message. Why is this unexpected? Because right now you're not feeling, in whatever this issue is, whatever it is that you feel like you actually do have to rush and make a decision or do something quickly, you're not feeling particularly emotionally connected with it. You may even think, it's not even a matter of that. It's like I've just got to jump in really quickly, the 6 of Swords reversed, before I know the direction, because otherwise I may not win. I may not win something with the 6 of Wands reversed, or I may not get recognised. So what is going on here is this is something where it's saying paradoxically you feel that you're under pressure to make a decision, I think, or under pressure to take an action. And you don't know what's going to happen if you do that, but you equally don't know what's going to happen if you don't. Like, you've really just got to do it and just jump with it, because otherwise you may miss an opportunity. But what this is actually saying is, the surprising message is, if you just slow down a bit, go within, you'll actually find you move towards your outcome in a much better way. So this is a kind of Don't jump before you're sure. Stop, go within, the answers are there, and then you will get the trajectory that you want. And I think it's heading towards a win of some sort, which makes it very interesting that we've got treasure there. But let's have a look at the weed out as well. As I say, these things could be connected or they may not be. You're going to need to apply these to your life. But to me, the kind of mythic thing here is the seeker within finds the speed to the outcome, but they have to slow down to speed up. The reason this is unexpected is you feel you don't have any choice, that it's like you just have to act now. So the second one, what is the message of weeding out? Three of Cups, Eight of Cups, Knight of Wands reversed, okay. And why is this unexpected? The Moon reversed, the Sun, the Tower. Okay, I think this is about friendship. It's interesting, some of you may actually have been drawn to pile 2 as well, since we have friendship as the way into that one, but I feel this is about friendship. I feel as though there is a need to move away from something, someone who is slowing you down. So it's funny, it's like I don't know if these things are connected, because you're feeling rushed and you have to rush, and the answer is within, not within groups and so forth, if that's the case. But otherwise, this is telling you there's someone who may appear to be a good friend, a good connection, but you've got to move away from them emotionally because they just drag you down. Why is this surprising? Because you don't know it. You actually do think this person is a good friend, and they may be on certain levels, but at the moment that's not happening. So it's surprising. You think that they're on your side for what you need to do, but there's a big shock coming if you don't move them out. So this feels almost a bit like, a betrayal or something like that could occur. Now, the good news is that if you understand that and you think about who really is on my side emotionally and who is slowing me down, it will come to the surface because, even though the moon's reversed, it needs to come to the surface. The sunlight, it's like they say sunlight is the best disinfectant, and then you'll be able to make the change you need to make rather than it happening to you. So this is a very strong energy about, and there is a similarity between these two because one of these seems to be go within to get your answers. This one is also there's someone around you trust, and even if they mean well, they are not going to give you the right information. But with this energy, they may not even mean well, to be honest, pile 1. Okay, so then let's look at the treasure. What is the message around treasure, and why is it an unexpected message for you? So the message around treasure, the Emperor, the Six of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles. And why, it's very material, and why is this, which is what you'd expect with treasure actually, why is this unexpected? Why would treasure be an unexpected message for you? 10 of Pentacles reversed, the World reversed, 5 of Wands. Okay, all right. This is interesting. I do think this group does have a little bit, as I was saying, a little bit of a kind of spiritual hygiene factor here around, I don't know that I should think about material things, that's not spiritual. This is definitely saying you're coming into a time where you're meant to come into some sovereignty. There is the generosity of the universe waiting for you, and there are good material bases. This is to give you a good material basis to work on something. The interesting thing too is it's almost as though there is a kind of a through line here to go within to work out what you want, which might be what is the material thing. Don't be rushed into a decision because maybe someone who seems to be a friend is going to slow you down with that rather than let it move forward. But once you actually do make the decision, do bring the material energy towards yourself, which could be a great new job, it could be winning something, it could be a great investment, whatever it is. There is a real sense of the universe or someone around you, a boss or a banker or somebody really helping you. Then you will be able to connect with the right people to do what you want to do. You'll have the foundation materially to do what you want to do. Why does this surprise you? You don't expect money to come from this source or opportunity to come from this source. You kind of think that the pattern of money is that you never quite make it, and it's always a sense of battle, like you're always embattled. You're never fully going to get to it. You won't get to that. But this is saying you're going to. So this is definitely saying whatever that is, whatever the material thing is that you're looking for. And I feel like it's more material than love, though for some of you it could be the love of your life, and it could be you feel like, oh, I'm not ever chosen. It's just going to not come into being. But that's why it's unexpected, because it is. This is a very, very positive sign that something very, very strong is coming for you. Yeah, something very good. So let's look at some other fortune energy. There's a couple of things that I wanted to do with that. I wanted to look at what telltale tokens say that might give us some other information about these messages, or they might be some other unexpected things or signs to look out for. And then we're going to use the personal predictions deck to see some of the kind of energy around all of this. So firstly, okay, so I'm going to first of all go to the ones that I think might be connected. I do think this, when we're seeing the two masks, happy and sad, I think this has got to do with the second one about what you need to weed out, so I'm going to put that there. I think that someone, deliberately or not, is wearing a bit of a mask around you, and you need to clear yourself from that. You need clarity in the decisions. I also think the witch energy there might be that as well. So I do feel there is something here where there's someone that maybe you trust that you shouldn't, to be honest. You are going to win something. Look at that. There's the cup. There's the prize. So it's confirming that. Okay, this is you feeling like the time is of the essence. So I think that's what you expect. But the time will work for you, and you will get the sign from the universe. You need to go within. It's the same thing as we've got the phone. The call is coming. And that could be a bit between these. It could be a call for an amazing job, or a call for a prize of some sort, or whatever. Okay, listen. It's saying listen for that. Listen for what, so listen for within, for what the decision should be. Listen to the people around you to know who to clear things out. Listen for when the call comes, the alarm goes. If you listen, you'll slow down long enough to know when it's actually happening. So this is very much talking about, this is a very aligned message, I think, but we are going to I'd forgotten, and I'm going to do it now. We're just going to do 3 cards for how connected all these messages are. I did mean to do that before, but I think that's answering it already, but we'll just see. So how connected are these messages? 4 of Pentacles, Judgment reversed, 2 of Cups reversed. Yeah, I think it is saying there, because it's the 3 messages are all kind of represented here. So that makes sense to me that they're saying they're connected. There's the material foundation, there's waiting for the right call and hearing the right call, and there's the fact that there's a connection to separate out from. So I do think they're connected. Well, I think actually the first one, which is slow down, wait, listen for the timing, is connected to each of these. It is possible that the other 2 are 2 different things. One might be around a career or some other thing like that, and the other one might be about listening carefully about relationships. So it really depends what's going on in your life at the moment. But I think the overarching message was the one that you were originally drawn to, which is the don't rush things. So let's see what the personal predictions deck tells us about some of the energy around these messages. Emotional overwhelm. Yeah, this is why you've got to slow down. And there is something that's going to happen around this friend or this connection. That's why, because it'll be the Tower if you don't actually allow yourself to slow down, listen, and work out what that is. It's really important to do that. Adventure and travel, after which you can travel, you can move, you can do what you want, you can go in the direction that you want. Thought and strategy. Yeah, how can you have thoughts or strategy until you slow down and look at things properly? But I also think this might be saying that once you've gone within and you've got the answer, particularly about the material thing, that's where you can actually start to travel and move. You're actually stuck by not believing you can do it, by believing that you won't have the resources. You're stuck in a sense of discontent and internal, your energy gets dissipated internally. But once you actually think about the strategy and you listen for the signs, you can move forward. And support system, working out what is the real support. There is a real support system for you, whether it's a boss or, as I say, a patron or a family member potentially, or partner. That's true, but some of the support system is also an issue. That's the friendship energy. So just be aware of the frenemy, as I say. Though I think you'll be able to work through that pretty quickly once you know who it is. All right, so we're also going to get you just some astrology or sort of like mythical beings. They kind of both turn up in this deck. So I just want to get one for each message. And as I say, they could connect. So the message, one for the message around not rushing things. Fire, okay. So that's saying you are very creative. You do like to get on with things. But what it's saying is that the way that you've been thinking you're going to do it, you won't get there. Six of Wands reversed. You're not going, if you just kind of jump in with that kind of, I'm just going for it, it's not going to work. The Eight of Wands is going to work if you go within first. So it's going within to find your own creative fire. But you are a bit impatient as a person, and trust me, I'm very impatient, so it's no criticism. But you're really going to have to go within and slow down a bit. Then around this dealing with the person who probably isn't the best influence on you. Cancer, okay. So you're very protective of your friends. And it's kind of funny because these almost seem to be coming out of like, well, they're coming out of they've got shells. They're wearing shells, because they're mermaid sort of creatures. You do really care about your friends and they're like your family. They're like an extended family. But I think you just have to protect yourself first. What I'm getting is that thing of, when you're on an airplane and they say, if the oxygen suddenly went, put on your mask first, then help others. Put on your mask first, then help others. Because at the moment, someone's almost taking your attention too much, I think. As I say, they may not be deliberately stopping you, but they could be too. It depends on who's come to this reading. Okay, and then in terms of the material win, the material step up, the getting the resources that you need, reflection is saying, yes, it is saying these are coming back. Like what you expect is what will come to you. That's why going within and seeing that it will move forward and having faith in that will work. Because otherwise you stay stuck in this sort of energy where you think, no, that doesn't happen to me. So reflect about it. Go within. Like that's been the message all the way through. Okay, so last but not least, we're just going to look for some signs for you. So as I often do these days, I'm going to ask you to choose between 1 and 3 as a number. Pause if you need to, because it's going to deal out one for each. And this is going to be either some extra information about the overall messages here, or it's about something that is synchronistic that will help you see signs, know when things are coming into being, that kind of thing. So pause if you need to, because I'm about to deal out. So if you went for number 1, we have porcupine. If you went for number 2, we have cow. And if you went for number 3, we have swamp. Okay, all right. So if you went for number 1, it's prickly, defensive, triggered, sensitive, criticism, protection. Probably the one that is most surprising to you and the one that you need to prepare for will be that second message. There is something you do have to weed out because it is going to become increasingly an issue for you. And it's an influence that takes you off your course, because the first message, the first surprising message was go within. You have the answers. You don't need it from anyone else. If you then weed out those that would actually slow you down or take you off your path, that's when the people that can actually help you will come forward. And then you don't need to be so defensive. But the moment if you're feeling defensive and feeling a little bit defeated, I think this is telling you you're going to be surprised because you are meant to win. When you move away from that energy, then you're going to actually not need the pricks anymore from the porcupine. You will be able to move forward. If you chose number 2, we have motherhood, family, stability, prosperity. Now that's interesting because we did have Cancer. So it could be that for some of you, building a family and so forth and being in a position to do that is the prize. Now, if that's the case, then yes, slow down, go within, look after yourself physically, weed out the people and the energies and the food and whatever it might be that is not helping your health and feeling that strong foundation, and then move forward. If it's not as literal as that, then I think this is saying, it's saying 2 really clear things to me. Firstly, it's saying that the reason you have to be careful with the friend is that you are a very caring and maternal person. It's that Cancer energy as well. And that's fine when it is bringing in, kind of a mutual benefit and when the person is worthy. But there is something here to shift that out, because it's like then you can be fertile and bring in the material benefits. That, how I said Taurus, and when I said Taurus, the second house, it's all about the good life. You are meant to have the good life, but you do need to make sure that you're not spending all your time dissipating your energy to others, so that you can go within and find the good life. If you chose number 3, then with swamp, overwhelmed, weighed down, trapped, and confusion, this is a combination message of the slow down here so that you can go within, because you are feeling rushed on some level, and you're probably feeling rushed by whatever this energy is in the second one that you need to weed out. But if you don't do that, then you get sort of pulled into the undertow. So it's very, very important to see yourself clear of that, to see yourself in clearer waters and moving forward. And remember, we have reflection here, so it's getting to where the waters are cleared, not so complicated by rushed decisions, the weight of the world being put on you, you feeling that you've got to somehow deliver for everybody else. So I think this is a very much slow down, self-nourish yourself. You deserve some good rewards, and it's your time, and you might be very, very surprised when it happens, but it is your time. But it is definitely also saying, as almost a precondition, you need to be very clear about who you are expending your energy on. So I hope that resonates for you. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome, pile 2, to your reading. So you came to the reading with friendship, and as I said, this could be a new friendship coming in. It could be someone who's very different to you, just the way that the two characters here are portrayed. There could be some very distinct differences between you and your life and the other person, and that might be something that's surprising and unexpected and fulfilling about it. But I kind of feel when I look at this, if these are connected, it might be the surprise that a friend is more than a friend. And the reason that I say that is that we also have temptation, so luring you away from your true purpose. Well, that could be an issue, but it could also just be temptation around like, is it more than a friendship? And we have a period of maturing powers, beauty and warmth and fruitfulness with summer, and that's the harvest. So I don't really feel that this is bad, though it could be. I mean, we'll have to see what the tarot says. It could be that there is some temptation that actually could take you away from your harvest or what you're doing, or you could have something that suddenly distracts you from a path. So we will look at that. But I just feel with those two together, and particularly with a harvest energy, that it could be that a friend becomes more than a friend, or some sort of other relationship, like a work relationship or something like that, becomes a friend and then becomes something more, because I just feel that for many of you the temptation is connected. But we will see, because the way that we're going to look at this is that we are going to use the cute and creepy tarot, and we're going to, for each of them, we're going to do 3 cards for what is the unexpected message in a little bit more detail, and we're going to use 3 cards for why is it unexpected. So that may show us where it connects or where it doesn't connect, and they don't have to connect, and it might connect for some of you and not for others. But this, as I say, and we're going to look at like what is the biggest way I could read this, so to speak. So let's have a look at friendship first. What is the actual message that's unexpected, out of left field, about friendship for you? Oh, the blank card. Well, that in itself is interesting. Death. And the 3 of Swords. Oh, interesting. And why is it unexpected? 7 of Swords. 3 of Wands. The Tower. Okay, now this puts a very different complexion on it. I feel like this is saying, and this could be a number of things. So I'm going to do the kind of most big issue around it. And when we're starting with the blank card over here and then the Tower, and it's pretty big. Blank cards are always where something is coming out of the unmanifest and hasn't formed yet. So this is certainly about someone that I would say you haven't met yet. I would say someone new's coming in, a new friend's coming in, and they may well be more than a friend, particularly with the Death card, Scorpio card next to a big transformation and a separation from something. Does make me wonder about this. As I say, it doesn't look, this bit doesn't look like it's by necessity a situation where it has to be kind of a new lover or something like that. But it could be. It could be that a friend is going to come into your sphere and it's so transformative that you actually get lured away from a relationship. That is possible. If it's not that, then there is a friendship energy here where maybe something that you end up going and doing potentially, or they end up going and doing, that actually transforms and you separate. So this may be more about either separating because of a new friendship that becomes a bit more than that, or separating from a friendship. Why is it unexpected? Because there was a sense of you were heading in the right direction with either this person, if it is someone who's in your life already, or with where you were going, it would have been natural for this. So it would feel like this was a natural inclusion, but there is something very transformative going on with this. So it's a very significant shift in a friendship to something more, or leaving someone for another friend, or meeting someone that makes you leave someone. This is big, and you need to be a little bit careful, I would say, because you're going to probably not fully understand what this is about, and you have to be careful who you trust. So that's interesting, but it's a fundamental shift, and I do think it's likely to be connected to that. And I think we should look at that card next, actually, as a result, just to sort of see. Because it just feels to me like this takes you away from something. It takes you away from a path. It transforms what you're doing. It takes you away from a relationship. It's the last thing you expected because you thought you were on your path. But this is like a completely different way of thinking about things. So this is, and I don't think I can make this small. Like, that's big. So let's see the temptation. What is that talking about for you? Five of Wands. Eight of Swords reversed, Queen of Pentacles. Okay. And why is this unexpected? Empress. Page of Wands reversed. The High Priestess reversed. This has got a really strong energy, whatever this is, whether these two things are connected, and it's not going to be the case for everybody, but what I'm telling you here is this is a very strong, you are in two minds about it, but the temptation is towards freedom from commitments that you've already made in one form or another. Could be in a workplace, it could be in a relationship, could be anything really. And it could be formed by some form of conflict with someone. So if this is in a workplace, or if it's some sort of like business agreement or whatever, you may liberate from it rather than stay stuck in it because you're not heading in the right direction. So it could have been, if this was like in actual fact not about love, but was about like a business arrangement with a friend, you might have actually found out that you're not heading in the same direction, and all you can really do is to resolve the issue is free yourself from the commitment. So that's a possibility. This doesn't feel, I've got to say, this on that bit does not feel necessarily as though it is being tempted away for a new lover or something like that. That is possible with this one, because we're looking at friendship and the type of relationship. But this could be separate and could be something very material, very much as a business. But whatever it is, the temptation is wanting you to liberate yourself from a commitment. So it is taking, and it says true purpose, but it doesn't have to be your true purpose. It might be shifting your mind about what your true purpose is. Why is it unexpected? Because whatever this was, whether it's a business relationship, a love relationship, whatever it is, it was growing in the way you would expect. It was heading towards the summer. Like the Empress is like the summer. You were on a path, but there's some revelation that occurs that halts that path. Now, you're going towards the right harvest. So whatever this is will work out, but it's like it's not working out in the way you expected. There's a shift in maybe a fundamental friendship or connection, and there's also a shift in what you would commit to. So let's have a look at summer then. And that could, in a sense, with all that going on, you think, oh, the last thing I'm going to expect is to get the harvest now, because it's almost like I've been stopped in my tracks by some revelation. But it is heading to the right direction. So let's see a little bit more about summer, and then about why summer is surprising. So summer, Eight of Cups reversed, Eight of Wands reversed, Nine of Wands reversed. Okay. And why is summer surprising? Well, it kind of makes sense why summer is surprising looking at that, but why is summer surprising? The Hermit, the Hanged Man, and the Six of Cups reversed. Okay. So what is surprising? You are going to get your harvest because you're not going to give up on the key thing that you want to do. But it will have been trickier to do than you expected because of difficult people, fractious sort of energy, being slowed down. Like all of this, there's a course correction energy about friendships or connections and also about what you're committing to. And you had thought both of those things were fine, but there is a course correction, but you will stick to the harvest and you will get the harvest. You will get the harvest, but it's going to feel like it's further away than you expected. Why then is it surprising? Because you feel as though you've been pushed back into your own self and you feel like you've been stalled and you feel like everything is different. Like this is significant. I've got to say, pile 2, it's a bit of a shock to the system. And I think it's all connected in some way. So it's either all about some sort of material thing or all about some sort of relationship. And it's just when you thought everything was cruising towards that and that you had the right people with you, that something that comes, and it could be another person or some other opportunity, comes out of the blue and it tests your conviction. You will stay committed to your ultimate outcome, but the way you get there will be different. So let's see how these are connected, though. I think it's pretty clear in a way, but let's just get 3 cards for that. The Devil, yeah, commitments, when big things. Queen of Swords, 10 of Wands. Yeah, it's I think you are facing something comes along that is really unexpected, that separates you out from, I'd say, at least one person that you thought was part of the harvest in some way. Depends on the type of relationship. You're going to course correct in a fairly significant way. You will get the outcome you want, but it's been forced on you to be more analytical and strategic about what you will commit to and what you won't, because where you were going would have been a huge burden in the end. So it's actually happening. I mean, in the Tower at its best works really well. It clears things out so that we don't carry what we shouldn't carry. This is what it's all about. But at the time it's happening, it's going to be a little bit discombobulating and you're probably not going to think it's good, but it will be. Or you're going to feel guilty about it if it feels really good. It feels really good and you're feeling like, oh, am I sort of leaving the security of a relationship for a passion or whatever. But this is actually to course correct you in the way that's going to be less of a burden in the longer term and more natural. The harvest is more natural, but it's a bit of a rocky road to get there. So let's have a look at some other fortune stuff that may or may not connect with it. We'll start with the telltale tokens for what else we can see that way. Okay, there's going to be lots and lots of talk. Look at all those talking. Be careful of gossip, be careful of what is said and so forth. We have Taurus, so it's about material things. It's definitely about material things and about the type of life that you want. The Moon, yes, something is hidden. Something is hidden and it's very emotional. It's got to come to the surface. Musical notes, trying to get things into harmony. Maybe that's ultimately we'll get into harmony. And this is like a projector, like a, for films and stuff back in the day. So music and movies, that's interesting. For some of you, this could be quite literal, that you are in film or in music in some way, and this has to do with course correcting to what you're trying to do creatively. Otherwise, there might be a movie or even a song that is a bit like this that you can kind of align with. We have a car. You are moving, and whatever this is a vehicle to take you places. Hat, what hat do you wear? What role do you have? And this is like a sheriff's hat. So what responsibilities do you have? And are you moving towards your responsibilities or away from them? Are they the right responsibilities? But this is actually really interesting. The hammer. This is why this is important. pile 2, because I think you were almost coasting towards an outcome because it seemed the most inevitable thing with the sort of people that you're around or whatever it was. But the thing is, and why it's saying this frees you up to think differently and not end up with being more bound up in something that isn't right for you, is that sometimes the way we make decisions, there's a saying that if you're a hammer, the only thing you ever see is a nail. So it's like if you are stuck in a particular idea of your future, then it's very hard to see anything around you except as fulfilling that. That's why if Spirit wants to push you onto a slightly different track to get you your harvest, but in a way that's less burdensome for you, then they've got to kind of do the shock and awe of a blank card in the tower, because you're a little bit too focused on one thing by the looks of things. So I think that's what it's saying to you. So let's see with the personal predictions card what kind of energies around this. Like it's kind of like tough love in a way, which the best friendships give you, by the way. Because you need that at the moment so that you don't end up almost putting too much effort or too much expenditure into getting your harvest. There's a better way of doing it. But it is a course correction. It does shift you from what you were originally committed to. So what do we have? We have lots, sleep, fatigue. Yeah, like you're taking on too much, and some of this may make you feel like this too. You might be like, what the hell is going on here? And then we have adventure, travel, but you're meant to be moving. You are meant to be moving. But you might just need to change your plans a little bit. Support system. This is interesting. There's a couple of cards that came up in one of the other ones. And there was a friendship thing in one of the other ones. So there could be some of you that are kind of connecting the two. Support system is important, but also that you're not just everybody else's support system. And be open to receive. Yeah, I think this is meant to be a gift, but it's going to feel like it just throws everything up in the air. But it's meant to be a gift. And the temptation is actually something to help you course correct. It's not wrong to take it. It's not wrong to explore it, because it's actually going to simplify things. And make sure in the end you're committed to the right thing and not to something that kind of ties you up a bit too much to get any kind of harvest or outcome. Okay, so let's get just some mystical / astrological energies around each. So we'll start with friendship, because that was the one we first came to look at. Ether. Okay, the ether is sort of one of the energetic levels. It's the spiritual energy, and it's where things come out of the blue. Like, yeah, it's definitely a person. I would say there's definitely a person who will be a friend and may affect other friendships, and they've yet to materialize. You don't know this person yet. Okay. Then when we look at the temptation, what's the energy there? Virgo. So this is an opportunity to integrate what really matters and to consolidate what really matters. It does make me think this is more likely to be some sort of business sort of thing rather than a love, like a breakup of a love relationship or whatever. It feels more like a shift in a business energy when we have Virgo. But for some of you, it could be just a person who is a Virgo that is a temptation. And then we have harvest. What's the energy around that? Fire, yeah, summer, the warm months, that's where the creative juices get going. And that's why it's important not to be trapped in this fiery old version of things, but to have reduced the burden with the wands and be able, and after that you go into either the page and move forward, or you go back to the ace and you have the sort of like new burning ambition and so forth. So it is meant to clear everything out for you, but I do feel like it's a little bit discombobulating, as I say, as it occurs. So it might be important to have some signs and other advice. So think of a number between 1 and 3, pile 2. Depending upon which you choose, that will be the card. I'm going to put out 3 cards that have sort of dream symbolism and synchronistic energy and signs, just to be on the lookout for and to give us a little bit more idea about how this all comes together for you. So pause if you need to, because I'm about to deal out. For number 1, we have cat. For number 2, we have rabbit. And for number 3, we have black. Okay, all right. So if you chose number one, cat, feminine energy, emotions, intuition, magic, spirituality, it could be a female energy that's coming in, or it could be something that makes you think about, with the Empress, the summer coming out that way, your own sort of inner female, that kind of energy. Your intuition will be very good for this, so pay attention to that. And there is something magical about all of it. It is like the universe stepping in, and it looks like it's throwing everything up in the world with something really unexpected, but there's a strategy there. And cats have a great inner sovereignty and a great instinct for who to trust and who not to trust. So I think that's a very positive thing for you. If you chose number two with rabbit, I feel like follow the white rabbit. This is an adventure. It's like, it will be a bit fantastical. It will seem a bit strange. It will seem like the universe has stepped in and really kind of scattered all the chess pieces on the board to start again. And you will feel like, is this a trickster energy? Should I trust it? But it is to bring prosperity. It is bringing the harvest. It's bringing luck. And there could be love and lust. For some of you, this could be an extremely powerful attraction to someone that shifts all your ideas about relationships. But there is a magical energy to both of those. Now, this is interesting. If you chose number three, we've got feminine energy against. There's a very strong feminine thing here. So if you're a woman and that's what you identify with and all that kind of thing, then that's just probably you. Your energy is dominant here. Otherwise, it could be that there is a woman involved in this, a female friend or a potential lover or whatever it might be, because there's a strong feminine energy coming up across the board here. Mystery, intuition, magic, subconscious. So again, it's magical. Like this is actually in some ways the epitome of what I was hoping we would get to. Not exactly in this structure, because I do feel this is a bit challenging, but I do think it will come out very, very well. But this is where the fantastical almost seems to be happening, what you would not expect at all, where the universe does seem to be stepping in and fate does seem to be stepping in. And in every single case, there's a sense of magic and luck and a good outcome, but something mysterious and deep, with black energy here and mystery. You'll think, I don't know what's going on for a while, but just trust it, because black in itself is a bit like the void. This is where the true creation comes from. So I hope that resonates for you. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome, pile 3, to your reading. So you came to the reading with key, which talks about you are the key to your future, to your happiness. Unlock your mind, unlock your heart, unlock the door, all of that kind of thing. And what has also come with it is journey, a physical or spiritual journey, and B, working with others, communication, sweetness, hard work. I feel as though these things could be, so far in all the readings, there has been some connection, I think, between the three parts of this, which maybe in retrospect makes sense. If we're talking about really big things that come out of left field, they have a number of layers to them, and you're not likely to have a whole 3 or 4 or what of them all at once. So it kind of makes sense, but I feel like there's a kind of a sequential energy here, but we will see as we go through whether there's any separation. But certainly one of the first things that's surprising that's coming is you will have a realization that there's something within you that unlocks the door, that makes the opportunity happen. And if this is unexpected, it might be that you thought you had to rely a lot on others, or you had a long way left to go, or that you were kind of alone rather than supported by others and so forth. But you weren't near the door, like you didn't even fully know what that was. So I think there's a surprise for you that you are the pivotal part of something. And I do think it's something that's going to involve others, and I do think it's something that takes you on a spiritual or physical journey, or a bit of both. But the first surprise is you're the key. You're the one who's necessary in this. If you were in a narrative, you are the pivotal person that is either the main character, or sometimes this is not being the main character, it's being the person who makes sure that the story occurs. Like, as an example, Merlin with Arthur. Merlin was not the main character, but if Merlin hadn't been there, Merlin was the key to Arthur understanding his destiny and so forth. But whatever it is, it's surprising. It's surprising for you. there is also a physical or spiritual journey coming that surprises you. So this self-realization might take you on a journey physically or spiritually that's surprising, or you just might get an opportunity to do something like that and it's the last thing you expected. The third surprise is working with others and on an industrious way, and that is sweet. So one of the things this makes me think of is when you have a group of people that work really well together, they all have different roles. That tends to be how it works best. It's like, what they call the Gestalt effect, where the sum of the parts, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So it's basically coming together different sort of abilities, different gifts, different focuses and so forth, create a much better outcome than anybody on their own. But within that, you still have a very important role, which is almost as the ignition point and the person who unlocks the door and brings the possibilities in. So it makes it sweet because it's almost as though you're going to find a harmony with people to realise something that you want to realise. And maybe that's unexpected because you're used to struggling with everybody else's ambitions and so forth. But your time is coming, your door is unlocking. That's what this is talking about. So what we're going to do is that we're going to we're going to do tarot, and what we're going to do firstly for each one is we'll have 3 cards to tell us a bit more about what the unexpected thing is. And then we're going to have 3 cards that will tell us why it's unexpected. So let's start with the key. So a little bit more about what is this key? What's it all about? Justice reversed. 7 of Pentacles reversed. Temperance reversed. Oh, that's interesting. This is why it's surprising, all right? But we will also ask why. Tell us a little bit more, Spirit, about why it's surprising, because it's already starting to tell us. 9 of Wands reversed, 10 of Wands reversed, Queen of Swords. Okay, so why there is something you've been fighting or dealing with. It's probably in a career or some sort of social cause or something like that. And your capacity to grow and develop and to bring things into better alignment has been slowed down. Like it hasn't been fertile ground for that. There's a kind of an injustice, there's an imbalance of resourcing, an imbalance of power, whatever it might be. And everything is difficult to deal with. So your key is to deal with that. You are actually meant to fix this up. You are meant to unlock the door to bring about better balance, better justice, and restore growth. It's interesting actually that I was thinking about Merlin with Arthur, because Arthur, of course, creates Camelot, but one of the things is he sets off the search for the Holy Grail. And the whole concept of the Holy Grail, which is a long journey where they work together, the knights, is that the land has to be healed. And there's almost a feeling of that here. So for some of you, it could be very literal. You could work in environmentalism or something like that. But it doesn't have to be as literal as that. But what it is suggesting is that you are finding you are the key, because in some way you are a healer of injustice and a healer of things that are out of balance, so that things can become growthful again. And it surprises you because you didn't really think you were going to be the key to that, but you are. And why is it particularly surprising? Because you are different to a lot of people. You're sharper, you're quicker, and a lot of people don't keep up with you, and there's been a lot of blocks and difficult energy because of that. You've felt always that you had to be kind of on your own for that reason. And it's unexpected because you're going to get this breakthrough that takes the burden off it just being you. You're like the lone social justice warrior or whatever who suddenly finds her people. And it's a real surprise because you're so used to having to live on your wits. But you are going to find that you will have less burden from difficult people. It's like things are going to start to come into alignment for you. So let's have a look at the journey next, because I'm not sure whether that's part of this or whether it's a separate thing. I definitely think the bee is connected to this energy, but let's have a look at the journey. What is the surprise energy around the journey for you? Ace of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles reversed. Okay, and why is it surprising? Queen of Pentacles, oh my goodness. 3 of Wands, Page of Wands reversed. A lot of Pentacles energy. for this journey. This is a very material journey, so that's what we know. So if this is a material thing, if what you're trying to bring into balance, and we do have the Pentacles energy there, then they are connected. Otherwise, there is some sort of physical, and it probably is more physical than spiritual, but it could be spiritual towards a material outcome. Journey is coming, which fairly rapidly creates from a blessing or an opportunity, which could be the key, but it could be something else, creates stability and security, and you find your people. So it's a journey where you look like you're starting out on your own, but you're really not. It's almost like if you imagine this person's looking back, they're looking back probably to the other characters, because you actually realise, hey, there's some other people following me. Like, gosh, I hadn't expected that. So this is about finding your people. It's not about being alone. It's not about doing it all alone. And it's like, wow, we really quickly come to a good outcome as a result of that, and that's really surprising. Why is it surprising? Because you're used to having to do it yourself. You're very much this queen energy, but very much a queen standing on her own. And so it's sort of like, wow, I don't have to come up with all the ideas, and people are aligned with me. Like this is something that really clicks. It really clicks as some sort of like creative, political, social, career thing, whatever it is, something very material. It really clicks, and you're so used to doing it all on your own. And you're very clever and more than able to do it. But in this case, it goes a lot quicker and it moves a lot more efficiently because you are actually finding a synergy with others, and it's a real surprise. It's the last thing you expected. So then let's learn a bit more about being the bee here, the bee working with the others, and how that brings the sweetness in. So tell us a bit more about that, Spirit. Death reversed, the blank card, okay. Four of Wands reversed. Okay, and why is this surprising? Ace of Cups reversed, Ace of Wands reversed. Okay, because this hasn't started yet. Okay, like, and it would, for most of you, if you're in the right reading, this would feel so alien and so unlikely. So what this is saying is this point of getting to working with others and it being sweet and so forth, a major transformation has to occur, but it hasn't happened yet. You're still working or being around situations where there's sort of other people are sort of resisting it and people won't work together, and it's all temperance reversed or justice reversed. So right now, that would be a surprise, like it would be a very big surprise, and it hasn't occurred yet. But this is like, there's something magical about this that's coming out of the unmanifest to happen. But right now, this shift away from, teams not working together, people not working together, huge divisions politically, whatever it might be, it's a real surprise because it's in an environment where it's the last thing you'd expect. Like it sort of feels like literally like, we're so divided politically now. It's almost like suddenly people from two sides of the really diametrically opposed environment have a common cause. It's that strange and that's surprising, but there's something like that happening. And why are you surprised? Because the last thing you expected was the sort of heart connection and the vision connection with other people. You've always thought you had to be on your own. And it always felt like, wow, it's just too much to deal with all of that. I'll deal with the cause, but dealing with everybody else, I can't deal with it. But you aren't going to need courage. It's really surprising because the blessing is there and it just wants to be, you're the key, you unlock it, you turn those two around, you get the blessing, and you don't need courage. And you are someone, you're so courageous, pile 3. Like that's been your bread and butter, actually, just being prepared to go into the fight, prepared to do it, the lone warrior. But now you're bringing the people together. It's a completely different energy. So how do these all connect then? I mean, though I think it's pretty obvious, but how do all these connect? The world, yeah, bringing everything together. The Tower reverse, and then step by step making changes. And the Three of Swords without pain. Like this is like a real breakthrough in a very contentious situation. So I do think it's very specific, and if that doesn't resonate, maybe try one of the other readings, because this is very specific about a role I think that you have, but it's a big shift from what you're used to. So let's get some other fortune energy from the Telltale Tokens to see what else we can learn. Okay. Music, harmony. Harmony when you least expect it. Okay, and this is like screws and nails, like the things that actually hold things together. So I think I'm going to put that as well there too, that there's a capacity to work together, everybody in the different things that like a screw does compared to the, don't even know what you call it, it's a bit like a washer or whatever, but or the screw holder. That's working in kind of harmony, everybody with their roles. We have a car, this is heading somewhere. It's not a stationary issue, it's heading somewhere. Time is of the essence with the clock ringing, so it's like once you understand you're the key, you have to move quickly. Cactus, resilient. You've been so resilient, and resilient on the journey is important. We have, now that could be meant to be the North Node, but I think it might be Omega. I just want to see what it is in this particular thing. It's Omega, eternal, the beginning and end, first and last. This is part of your soul thing. This is why you're the person with the key. We have a lantern. You're the person who leads. Devil mask, dealing with like really tricky, devilish sort of energies, and an eye, seeing clearly where those things are so that you can work together. Like, so yeah, this is you stepping into a role to deal with real issues here and real injustice and real darkness and clear it out. But finally finding people who are on the same page as you and will bring other talents to the table. Like, it's very encouraging. Let's see what we get in terms of personal predictions. There's some other energy for you. Friendship and company, yeah. Like, it's interesting. All the other readings, I can tell you, have issues around friendship and company, but this one is actually the complete polar opposite. This is like the people that are coming into your life, the people you're connecting with, it's good. And we have burdens and responsibility, help you remove some of the burdens and responsibility. Relief, answers, yeah, like it's coming through. The answer's coming through. This is relief. Okay, it's funny. It's funny the way I did that. This is almost like if you read it that way now, like this is like the end leading to what started it, brain fog, confusion. You're dealing with so much, but relief is coming, clears the air, clears the clouds. Then your burdens and responsibilities can be shared. So it's very, very positive. But I think even the way I did that, it's kind of like, because this is the last thing you'd expect. So I'm almost going to the ending that you wouldn't ever see and then bringing you back to where you are now so that you can understand that's the journey that you're going on. Okay, let's just get you either an astrology or some other sort of mystical energy for each of them as well. So firstly for the key, Cancer. Okay, so some of you may be Cancer who have Cancer strongly in your chart. I think this is a kind of almost maternal, and it's almost like this group are going to be like your family. For some of you, it could be a very big breakthrough in some form of family issue, you know, like some sort of lineage issue or whatever with Cancer coming up, and you find a better way to harmonise and deal with those in the family who are the most productive and aligned with you. So it is possible it could literally be about family with some of these cards. But otherwise, I think you have a kind of almost maternal protective energy on others. That's part of what your role is. For the journey, Venus. Could bring you love, which is interesting. This isn't really talking about love, I would have thought immediately, but you might find love. Otherwise, there is a beauty and a harmony and happiness. There's a happy energy. And around the bee, December moon. Okay, so endings of old things to bring in the new, definitely, but it may also be giving you a timing. It could be around about December this year that it fully comes together, depending on when you watch that. So when I'm filming it, that's quite a fair way away. So it could be a bit of a long journey to fully get there, but know that you're going to and that you've got good travel companions. Otherwise, you may be seeing this at a later stage of the year and it may be closer. So that could be a timing thing for you. Okay, so beyond timing, the other sign that you could watch for is sort of synchronistic signs and dream signs. So I'm just going to close out with asking you to choose a number between 1 and 3. Pause if you need to choose the number, because I'm about to start dealing out. But we're going to get sort of signs, synchronicities and other energies to help you know that you're in the field of these unexpected surprises, or this kind of combined unexpected single surprise. So if you chose number 1, we've got yellow. If you chose number 2, we've got rabbit. And if you chose number 3, we've got beetle. Okay, so if you chose number 1, yellow, hope, optimism, like there's a very yellowy colour there. Even the person's hair there is yellow. So I feel like it's a golden opportunity. Hope, optimism, enlightenment. You might get some envy and jealousy, or part of what you're being triggered to deal with at the moment is envy or jealousy. But you're going to find the people who aren't like that. That might be part of what you're trying to repair. It may also be that you'll really know you've succeeded and you've got this perfectly humming group of people working together when others outside are jealous. So that may also tell you, wow, we've achieved something spectacular here. If you are in the part of the group that chose number 2, rabbit, follow the white rabbit, go on the journey that seems unexpected, trust to magic and to luck, things will happen relatively quickly. There is a bit of a trickster energy, but I think you are able to deal with that because of your role. I wouldn't be too concerned with that. Love, luck, all those sort of things could come with it. And if you chose number 3, you have the beetle, survival, longevity, rebirth, cleansing, divine protection. You've got a big role here. That's probably why I was talking about the Merlin Arthur thing at the beginning. Like there's a big role here. And this is probably of all the ones who came to this reading, you are the ones who maybe do resonate to, I've got a social or a political cause or something to help in a workplace or something to clear the karma and destiny of a family or whatever. There's just a real feeling here of the resilience and the energy and the importance of what's going on. I'm getting a pull towards Egypt as well with beetles, so some of you may feel some kind of karmic connection to that. But I think it's very, very positive. So I hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings.